Hi everybody, thanks for joining me today for this session, which is about IoT platform migration made easy with AWS IoT. My name is Disha Kamra and I am AWS Solution Architect and Consultant here in Decode Cloud Solution. So, what we are offering today in this session. The offering of this live session today is we will give you an overview of AWS IoT and how it's work. Then what are the common challenges of connected devices and platform? What are the common IoT platform migration services offered by AWS? Then we will have a look on not in brief, but as an overview of IoT services provided by AWS and AWS IoT Core Services. After having this discussion, we are going to show you a demo that how an IoT device will be sending a sensor data and sending back an instructions to that device to stop it. Okay, I'm getting some disturbance in here. Okay, so we have few people. Thanks for joining us. So coming back to this, so within this demonstration, I will be using a simulator. We are not going to use a device. You can convert your own laptop, your own mobile into a device. I can share a link later on when we complete our agenda for today. But yes, in this demo, I will be using a simulator to show you. Then we are going to talk about the benefits of building with IoT, especially with AWS IoT. And I'm going to share a use case, client journey, that how they have started their platform migration journey using AWS IoT. So what is the architecture they have used, how they have planned, how they have migrated to that. So moving to next slide. I don't know how many of you are familiar with AWS IoT. If you have any bit of idea, what do you mean by IoT in very first line item? Any one of you, if you can please. You have a chat window open. If you can type in if you know anything about IoT. Anything. You can use the chat window. While I have not allow you to unmute yourself, but you can always type in the chat window if you know anything about IoT. What is IoT? Okay, so I take it as a no. Okay, see, IoT is Internet of Things, which means I want to connect almost everything which has the device which has access to internet, thing which has an access to internet, either it is my mobile, my Alexa, my smart television. If any of my hardware device which can connect to the internet can be taken care of. So when we are talking about what is AWS IoT, it's provide the cloud services that connect your IoT devices to other devices and with the AWS cloud services. So give me a minute. I'm getting some chat over here. Yes, that's correct, Kanika. IoT is connecting to smart devices, the devices which are available and using internet. So when we talk about IoT and especially AWS IoT, it's provide device software that can help you to integrate your IoT devices into the IoT based solution. So if your device can connect to AWS IoT, AWS IoT can connect them to the cloud services that the AWS providing. Now, most of you are thinking of that what are the protocols followed by them, because AWS IoT will let you select the most appropriate and up-to-date technology for your solution, which we are going to discuss in upcoming slide, and will also help you to manage and support your IoT devices in the field. So there are protocols which will actually help you to do the connectivity between them. Some of them, while we are not going to discuss in detail, but I'm just giving you the name of those protocol. Maybe you can go and do some Google and do some study about that, because those are required on understanding the architecture diagram. So there is MQTT, which is message queuing and telemetry transport. There is MQTT over VSS. When we talk about VSS, that's on WebSocket Secure. There the protocol which is supported by IoT is HTTPS, and then there is a long range wide area network which is commonly known as LoRaWAN. So when we are talking about this particular architecture, what AWS IoT can do? Of course, while we are going to have a very detailed case study discussion after having a demonstration on a very basic feature of AWS IoT. So let's talk about some of the solution which you might need in AWS IoT support. Like IoT industry, there are some example which are apply IoT technology to improve the performance and productivity of industrial process. So solution to them is like they use IoT to build the predictive quality model in industrial operation. They use it to support predictive maintenance in the industrial operation. The solution for home automation is like you connect your AWS IoT in your home automation solution. Like I'm talking about AC, you want to control it over on AC. Remember, there are some ad coming while you are stepping into your home. Before even stepping in, you can turn on your AC. So how this is happening when you are using your mobile? Okay, then you can even with the help of AWS IoT to provide home security and monitoring. So you can apply machine learning, edge computing to your home automation solution. So it will go on and on. There is no full stop as of now. But how? The question will come that how AWS IoT work? What is the basic infrastructure required to do so? So AWS IoT provides cloud services and device support that you can use to implement IoT solution, and AWS provides many cloud services to support IoT based applications. So to help you to understand where to start, here in this slide I'm providing you a diagram which you are able to see in here on right hand side, which is defining and providing a definition of the very basic concept to introduce you to the IoT universe. So this particular diagram is basically known as IoT universe. So in general, when we talk about IoT, it consists of the key components shown in the diagram. So what you are able to see in here, you are able to see in here some of the apps which are given to the end user to access their IoT devices, and the feature provided by the cloud services. So app is basically connecting with your any of the IoT devices, whether you are talking about at home, at work, at the community, with the help of the cloud services. Then there is a cloud service which are distributing a large scale data storage and processing services that are connected to the internet. So example includes you can go for IoT connection and management service, you want to go for compute services, you can go for database services. So it will keep on moving. So there is no end to the cloud services. Then we talk about the communication. Of course, when we are talking about the cloud services, the devices, how my devices are communicating to these cloud services. The communication is very important. So devices communicate with cloud services by using the various technology and protocol. The one which I talk about the very protocol up there. But when we talk about the technology and protocol, of course, you need a Wi-Fi and broadband internet connection if you want to stay connected with your IoT devices. Then you may need a narrowband cellular data for your mobile application so that you can remotely control your devices from anywhere in the world. The only thing, you should have an access to internet. Then of course, long range wide area network. So it will go on, and go on. And then we come into the devices. So what are the kind of a devices where we are connecting to our cloud services with the help of the apps there? So our device is a type of a hardware that manages interfaces and communication, and devices are usually located in a close proximity to the real world interfaces where they monitor and control. So devices can include computing, storage resources like microcontrollers, CPU, memory. Like example, if I talk about, you talk about the voice interface assistant, Alexa is one of the example. Then you talk about the custom IoT devices. There are few vendors which are closely working with AWS, those who provide their services to AWS clients, those who want to implement the IoT. And then, of course, there is Raspberry Pi. So there are endless hardware support and devices available if you want to expand your business into that. Then we talk about the interfaces. An interface is a component that connect a device to the physical world. So we have user interface, which will allow your devices and user to communicate to each other. Where then we have sensor. Sensor is basically input component that measure or sense something in the outside world in a way that device understand. So example may include like temperature sensor, which convert temperature into the analog voltage. It may have a sensor for humidity. We are going to see a very small demonstration on collecting sensor data on temperature. Okay. So I'm not going to show you a very fancy application, but yes, I'm going to show you the overall functionality, how to be taken care of. Then we are talking about analog to digital converter, optical sensor, camera sensor, which convert the image data into the digital data. So sensor will collect that huge variety of data. Then we have something known as accurator, which is the output component that the device can use to control something in the outside world. So what are the example? The example will be the stepper motor, which are collecting the sensor data, converting the electrical signals into movement. So if I'm just giving you one very small example. When we are talking about temperature sensor, it's sending a data in a form of a temperature, which is converting into an analog. It's collecting that data and accordingly sending me some notification. And once I receive a notification that my AC is still on, it's going on with temperature, I can remotely switch off my AC. So what I'm doing, I'm sending a signal back to my device to an ordering and sending an instruction to switch it off. Okay. So while we are talking about how IoT works, a very general overview. I have not get into the architect level, or because we have a limitation for this session to 45. And guys, if you like this session, I may plan few more session for you, especially on AWS IoT, and talking more in depth about how you can build in your own application without even purchasing a device. Because you must have heard that if you want to work on in IoT, you must have a device which will connect it. Yes, that's true. But if you want to learn the overall functionality, it is not necessary to get into a device purchasing. You can convert your even your laptop into that. And yes, there is a hands-on available for that as well. So coming back to my next slide, which is talking about common challenges of connected device platform. Yes, these are some of the concern. These are the challenges which are still available in the market, like the cost concern. There are people, those who are concerned about how they can manage, how they can improve the cost related to IoT operations. Then the speed of innovation. The customer would like to have new feature, developer want to do the innovation services, but on a click of that, how AWS IoT is going to support that. Then security, keeping my devices IoT data secure, protecting from the threat is very important. That technology and scale and fleet management is basically required on a click itself. Okay, so while I'm not presenting something in my slide, but I can name some of the giant those who have used the IoT, like LG migrated for innovation by using AWS for their new IoT platform, and they saved up to 80% in development cost. Developer were able to focus on business logic for LG service scenario. You can search on that use case on AWS website, or you can simply Google AWS IoT LG migration for IoT. Then there is a company known as iRobot, which I believe most of you know about, has improved their scalability, and traffic spiked by at least 20x, but because of the simple scalability of AWS IoT. There is a company named as Integer, which cut their cost per device by 90 percentage, and AWS has consolidated all their technology into a single place and allowing that company to gain more efficiency and focus on the customer. So answer of all these challenges are available within AWS IoT. Now, when we talk about the IoT platform migration scenario, what can be? So when we are talking about next generation migration, of course, the IoT platform is giving that scope to the new devices where you have your existing devices which you want to migrate. You have legacy of that which retired on devices. The company want to migrate a new IoT platform only for the next generation device. And there is a brownfield migration which say, okay, day one IoT platform, and you want to the new platform wants to connect to the IoT services in AWS cloud, so you can do new development and feature or focus on the new IoT platform. Then there is something known as hybrid migration, where some portion of your services will be still a part of your. So we talk about the next generation and new product iteration, while the old and battlefield devices are not 100% migrated to the new IoT platform. Okay, so yes, there are a lot of scenarios available. Now, before we jump into our demonstration, I just want to give a quick overview on the IoT services, that what are the various services. So I'm not going to talk very in detail about that, but just want to give you an overview of IoT services and IoT core services. Because when I'm going to show you a demonstration and there going to use some of the terminology which you may not be very familiar with, at least you will able to recall that, okay, Disha was talking something about this when she was explaining us some concept over on the slide. So coming back to this slide, when we talk about IoT universe, there one very small diagram which I have shown you in couple of my slides back there. So AWS IoT provide you services that support the device that interact with the world and the data that passes between them. So IoT is made up of the services which I'm showing you in my slides in here, which is divided into device software control services and data services. So while we talk about device software, it's provide to support your IoT devices. For example, when I'm talking about AWS IoT Greengrass, it's extend the AWS IoT to edge devices so they can act locally on the data they generate and use the cloud for management, analytics, and durable storage. Okay, which means with AWS IoT Greengrass, connected devices can run AWS Lambda function. AWS Lambda functions are nothing. They are the serverless functionality to work within the services. And of course, when we talk about AWS IoT device tester, it is for FreeRTOS, and AWS IoT Greengrass, as it is a test automation tool for microcontroller. And I believe you do understand what is a microcontroller, because those are one of the facility which will help you to switch and on your devices from anywhere in the corner of the world if you have an access to internet. So when we talk about IoT device tester, this test your device to determine if it will run on the platform like FreeRTOS or AWS IoT Greengrass, and interpret with the AWS IoT services. Then we have something known as your SDK. SDKs are your development kits which are available, which will help you to be more efficient, connect with your devices. And the IoT device and mobile SDKs has included open source library with some of the sample which will help you to understand how these platform or how these hardware platform you can choose and what kind of a solution you can go for. So it's a really rocker something available to you. So these are some of the devices software openly available. And of course, last but not the least, this free RTOS is the open source and real-time operating system for your microcontroller that let you include small, low power edge devices. So at last, after the demo, when we are going to talk about the use case, in that use case, the client has used the combination of this before moving from one cloud environment to the other environment, and you yourself will able to see and compare that how easy the architect diagram is being used to do that migration. Now, the other part of this IoT services, we have the AWS IoT Control Service, which will help you to connect and manage the devices in your IoT solution. So, when we talk about AWS IoT Core, it's a managed cloud service which enable you to connect with your devices, and you can securely interact with your cloud application with your devices. So the demo which I'm going to show you, I will be showing and using IoT Core. Okay, so there will be very few steps and it is just a click and away, and you will able to do so by yourself. A bit of command also, not like just like a click and go. No, we are going to use some of the command as well. And then of course, IoT Core will support many devices. You can do the messaging, you can process, route your messages to AWS IoT endpoints. So with AWS IoT Core, your application can interact with all of your devices even when they are not connected. Other part of it, the AWS IoT device management. This service will help you to track, monitor, and manage the connected devices that make up your device's fleets. So IoT device management services will help you to ensure that your IoT devices are working properly, securely after they have been deployed. So that's the functionality in here. And when we talk about devices defender, then it will help you again to secure, to maintain, to continuously audit your IoT configuration to make sure that there is no loophole, you are following all the security best practices, and it will send you an alert when it's detect any gap within your IoT configuration to make your security risk on a lower side. And the last one here in the control services is IoT Things Graph. This is a service which will let you visually connect with your different devices, web services to build your IoT application. While we are going to talk about and show you a demo on IoT Core, but in future we may have a demonstration on each one of and how we can work together on using all of these device software and control services. Other one is the data services, as the word suggests. Of course, it analyzes the data from the devices in your IoT solution and take an appropriate action. Okay, so like we are talking about IoT Analytics, which will run the analytics report on a massive volume unstructured IoT data and automate each of the difficult steps which is required to take some action based on the analysis of data. Sitewise is collecting and storing, organizing, and monitor your data passed from the from MQTT messages. So yes, we are not going in detail for the data services, but here we are going to talk about on AWS IoT Core. So let's take a brief look on IoT Core. So when we talk about IoT Core, it's the service that will help you to connect with your IoT devices to the AWS cloud so that other cloud services and application can interact. I'm sorry, let me take you. Yes. So when we talk about IoT Core, it's provide the services which will help you to connect your IoT devices to the cloud services and application which can interact with your internet connected devices. So while we are talking about the entire this universe in here, when we talk about IoT core messages, it's provide you the secure communication which your devices are managing and sending the messages in between of. So when we talk about the messaging services, it has a device gateway. Okay, it has a device gateway which enable your devices to securely and efficiently communicate with IoT. And device communication is secure by providing the secure protocols which use the certificates. You can attach the certificates. So in my demonstration, I'm going to show you that how to configure, how to use that certificate. Then there is something known as a message broker, which provide you a secure mechanism for the devices and the IoT application to publish and receive messages from each other. The other one is like the rule engine. When we talk about rule engine, it's connect your data, the data which they are collecting from the sensor which is sent by your device. It's connect the data from the message broker and to the other IoT services for storage and addressing the processing. For example, you can insert, update, and query a DynamoDB table or invoke a Lambda function based on the expression that you have defined within your rule engine. So we are going to see how you can define a rule, a very simple query, SQL query you can pass on to get into those details. Now, the other portion we have seen the messaging services. The other one is the control services. So it's provide you the device security management and registration feature. So when we talk about the registration and the entire controlling services, we talk about the custom authentication service where you define the custom authorization that allow you to manage your authentication, authorization, and how you are going to use that service with the help of or combining it with your Lambda function. Okay, so it can implement on various authentication. For example, you can go for JSON web token verification or OAuth provider call out. You must have a written policy document which you use by the device gateway. So when I'm going to show you a demonstration using the IT core, I'm going to use one of the policy which I have already created. I'm not going to create that policy in front of you, but the simulator which I have configured within my EC2 instance. Okay, there we are going to use that policy and how we are going to connect, which provide a method of securing your devices from getting unnecessary threat or being connected by other devices. Then we have device provisioning service, which will allow you to get a template which describe the resources which is required for your devices, like a think object, a certificate, a policy, and so on. So that template has a variable that replaced by the value of dictionary, and some template has a provision multiple devices which will just pass on the value. So it will go on like group registry, job service, registry, security, and identity service. So I'm not going into much detail in here, but yes, we may publish kind of a white paper for you guys if you are interested getting into more detail about all of these. Then we have something known as IoT core data services, and this will help your IoT solution provide a reliable application experience even with the devices that you are not always connected. So when we talk about device set shadow, this is nothing. It is a JSON document which is used to store and retrieve your current state of information of a device. So you will see the uses of device shadow in my upcoming demo. Then we have something within the data services, we have device shadow service, which manage its data for connected application. So when the device reconnect, it will pick up the state and shadow in the device shadow service, and your devices can also publish their current state. So when the data services are taken care of, you do need the support service, like when we talk about Alexa voice service, which is integrated with AWS IoT, where you must have seen a number of ad where you are passing on your instruction and command to Alexa, and Alexa is helping you to do so, which means they are connected with your refrigerator or with your AC or with your security alarm, all such kind of a thing. And of course, there is something known as Amazon Sideway integration, which is nothing. It is a shared network that's improve your connectivity option to help your devices work together better. So with the help of this combination, you can, I'm not even talking about the businesses here. I'm not talking about the home security system that can be taken care with the help of this service. Now, let's take a quick look and we are going to jump into a demonstration. Now, here, what we are going to do. If you are able to see, I have already installed one of my simulator app within my EC2, which has the Node.js air conditioner simulator app, which because I'm not going to use a physical hardware device. So we are going to create the IoT certification and key, and then we are going to run an simulator app and publish the data to IoT, which means, of course, with the help of the simulator, I keep on passing on some of the temperature value and to my AWS IoT, which is a kind of the sensor sending the device. Then we are going to, this is the topic where we are going to create it. Then we are going to subscribe to the topic with the MQTT client in AWS Management Console. We will see that and watch that what data we are streaming in here. Okay, and then we are going to create an IoT rule which will look for the records with temperature, a verb, and define threshold. So this is the threshold which we are defining in here. I'm also going to associate as SNS, simple notification server action, which is associated with my rule, which will, the moment it pass on the threshold, it will start sending an email to a person who has that. Then we are going to publish the state, which is change the device shadow, and we are going to instruct the simulator app to reduce the temperature by turning on the air conditioning. Okay, so let's get started with this demo. Give me a minute, guys. Let me open my portal. Okay. Okay, I'm getting something like there are people those who are not able to hear me. Ashwin, are you good? Am I audible to you? Please confirm. A very quick confirmation is good. Okay, is that something with everyone? Kanika, Kingsley, Alexander, if you can please confirm me, rest of the people. A simple yes or no. Are you able to hear me? Ashwin, there seems to be some issue at your end. If you can please check. Thank you, Kingsley. Okay, thank you. Thank you, guys. So give me a couple of minutes. Let me start with my getting some of the details so that I can show you my screen with AWS Management Console, from where there only we are going to start. So I hope these steps are clear to you. What I'm going to do, I'm going to connect to my Amazon EC2 instance over SSH. Okay, I'm going to do a remote connection because the simulator which we are going to use is in Linux platform. Then I'm going to generate AWS IoT X.509 certificate, and from after that, or both of these activity I'm going to do remotely using my remote control of EC2. Then I'm going to create a thing type, and then I'm going to create a thing, then I'm going to attach a policy and thing to the certificate to maintain a security. And after that, I'm going to create an IoT rule which will send the notification. I will run my simulator application. And once I run my simulator application, it will, after running the simulator application, I'm going to create a subscription topic for your things and publish it. And then I'm going to change the device state with the device set. Okay, so I'm about to log in there. Give me a minute. And while we are going to use some of the concept in here, while I'm going to log in, let me open my PuTTY as well, which I'm going to use. Okay, guys. So how many of you have used this PuTTY configuration to take a remote control on your VM or EC2 machines? Or let's start with a very basic question. How many are very new to AWS or already using AWS? Simply raise your hand. You need not to type. There is a hand raise option there. Okay, great. I have 2, 3. Okay, that's not a worry. Few more minutes. It's taking a bit time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a session. I will establish a connection. Let me change this maybe for 30 so that it is not disconnecting me every time in here. And okay, and I'm inside my management console right now. Okay, and let me download my ppk file. Okay, because I will be using that to connect with. Okay, guys, I'm in there. So what I'm going to do is I have my IP address now. I will go inside my session and let me remove this. There is my IP which I'm going to use now right now. And once I mention that, let me go inside the connection. Under the connection SSH, here we have the auth. Let me browse my key. This is what I have downloaded just now. Open it and I click on open. So here I'm going to log in my, and let me even open my console. So here I am. I'm inside my EC2 instance. It is authorizing me. So once this is done, I'm going to generate the, I hope my screen is visible to you. So I'm going inside. I know the folder location where my application is simulator is lying. So I'm going inside that. Okay, that's great. I'm going to create. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create the certificate and the key and set the certificate and keys as an active. Then the output of that content will be get inside my simulator folder with the name of cert. So let me paste that. So what I'm doing, I'm creating a key and certificate. I'm setting it as an active and I'm putting my file within my output file with this, which is that means under the simulator I will have one more folder with the name of certs which will hold all of my key details. So let me pass on. This has done something and now you will see that I have this. Now let me go back to my services where I will go and search for IoT Core. So inside my IoT Core, okay, let it get started. Inside my IoT Core, since I'm here for the very first time using this login, so what I'm going to do, I'm going inside my monitor. This is the main page which will show you all the successful connection and metrics of number of messages send and receive. Since we have not done anything right now, so you will see this dashboard as in blank. But the moment I start creating and doing some activity, it will start showing you some of the pie chart and graphics. So here is my monitor. This is the main page, but let me go inside my secure and certificate, which will show me the certificate which we have created recently. Since my simulator is already connected with this account, so this is the certificate which I have created, okay, in my previous step. Now this is created, okay. Now under the policy, since I'm showing you a demo, I'm not going to create everything in front of you. This is the policy that has been created the moment we have established that EC2 instant. Okay, so this is something very important. If I open and show it to you, you will able to understand that is it is allowing me to connect with IoT. This is the this is the URL to be used. It's allowing me to action to publish and receive the sensor data, subscription, everything we are setting up as in policy for that particular, and which is recently created when I was talking about or starting my EC2 instance. Okay, now let's start creating the thing type. Now here what I'm going to do is under the manage, I have something known as type. So what I'm going to create in here is I'm going to create a new thing type and let me name that home automation. Please note I'm using some of the name in here because within my simulator I have set up my JSON file in such a way which we cannot change for now. So I'm using things around my house. I want to do some automation here. And since I want to set up one of the attribute in here, I'm adding an attribute as in location, which location I want to control, because within my home I have kitchen, I have my living area, my bedroom, my washroom, my other room where my daughter is staying. So I want to specify with the attribute key and I'm setting a location in here. So the moment I click on create thing type, it will create a card with the name of a home automation which has a location as an attribute value. So I will pass on this. Okay, I want to control my bedroom or I want to control my living room, something like that. Now, once the type has been created, IoT type, the device type, or I'm passing an instruction in there, I'm creating a thing here. So I want to register a thing, and here I'm going to create a single thing. Not, but this is I'm not going in a loop of multiple devices to be connected, but a single thing. So here I'm passing on a name here because I want to see the control the what is it, the temperature of my room. So passing on this, selecting the home automation thing type, nothing to do about this group. However, the location which I'm going to mention in here, I'm going to set up my location in here as in bedroom. So once I did that, and let me click on show things, And see, you must able to see some of the by default code which is showing in here, desired, welcome, but here I want to, because I'm passing on some of the JSON value which is already available in my simulator. So I'm passing on setting it within my simulator. I have a function name as an air conditioner is on, so I'm making it as in false for now to run this demonstration working. Once I do this next, now I need that certificate, the certificate which I have created in here within my simulator. This is my simulator. So I'm considering this EC2 instance as in my device, as my AC of my bedroom, which I want to connect. So I need a certificate to make thing work. So here I will create thing without certification for now. I'm skipping this option because the certificate I have attached within my type itself. Now I'm going to attach the policy and things to the certificate. So what I'm going to do, I will go back to my secure certificate, and here we have this three dots which is known as app clips, and here I'm going to attach my policy, the policy which I have shown you earlier. So I will click on this and attach this. Okay, then again, I will go back after attaching the policy. I'm going to attach the thing which I have created recently with the name of thermostat, which has a location of my bedroom, and I'm attaching that. So once this is taken care of, now what we left with? We need to create an IoT rule that will send me a notification. So what I'm going to do is within my services, let me find out where is my okay, not here. I will go inside I have to create a simple notification service. So I'm going to create a topic. Just click in here in the hamburger menu and create a new topic. I'm going to create a new topic. Select a standard one. Here I will name it as thermostat notification. And let me put the name as thermostat. And I will select and create a topic. Now, once this topic has been created, I have to create a subscription. So I'm going to create a subscription. Okay. The subscription which will be using a protocol as an email, a simple email. In the endpoint, I'm going to mention my email ID. My email ID. Okay. And I will just click on the create subscription. So I will be getting an email. This is created successfully. I will be getting an email in couple of minutes and so which I will show you to which because that email will be asking me to confirm the subscription. Until unless I'm not going to subscribe it, it will not send me the what do you say, the notification. So here we go. So I just received this email just now, okay, which is talking me, okay, this is the subscription. So we are showing you a very raw demo, but when we talk about the software implication and all, things are not that way. It is something automated process and all. So this is confirmed now. Okay, so this is confirmed. Let me do and quick refresh of my page, and you will see a status is coming as in confirmed now. So this say that, okay, you have created a topic, you have subscribed it with an email. Now let's go back to my IoT core. And here I will define a rule which will define a threshold to me, which will help me to identify what need to be taken care of, and you have to take some action because this is outreaching the details. So I'm going to create a new rule and name it as email rule, and let's put some descriptions and email when temperature is more than 60 and temperature. This is not the rule, please. Okay, guys, this is just a description. So I'm putting a description in here. Now, if you see that we are going to set one or more action, I will define my rule query in here, but prior to that I need to add an action. So I will select an action that send a message when SNS put notification, because I want to push that notification the moment the rule is identifying that threshold is breaching. I want to push my notification to the email ID which I have mentioned. Okay, so I will configure that action. So the moment I configure that action, I have to select the SNS target to which topic I want to pick it up. So this is what we have created. What message format you want to send, I will select in raw format. And once this is taken care of, you need to choose or create a role which will have an access to perform this action. So remember, we have a role which is created with the help of the policy. So I'm not going to update this role because we already have the necessary permission which is required in here. So here we are choosing a new role which will be a part of uh, this particular lab setup which I have created for you. Now the moment I have add the action, I will go back in here. You will see there, as of now, there is no rule defined. So I'm going to define a rule. I have mentioned when I have created that simulator, I have created one of the table with the name of house, which is holding all those value in here. And let me press an enter at the end of the SQL statement to add a new line. Otherwise, it will not do so. And I will create a rule. So now we have a rule. Now let me take you back to the simulator application. This is my simulator application. Let me make it more clear. We are still inside the simulator folder. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to because this application is created in Node.js. Okay, so I'm going to configure and registering it, and then I will run an npm install. And once this is done, what I'm going to do, I'm going to run my simulator application. With the help of this command, the commands which I have run recently, it will install all the dependency of the application which is required to complete. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run my simulator. So the moment simulator will start running, you will see that it start running and passing some of the value as if some of my air conditioner is passing. Remember, when we have set up that thing, we have mentioned the air conditioning on as in false, but it's still taking up some of the temperature. And you will notice the moment it will reach out to that threshold more than 60% and so on, I will start receiving a bunch of email with all those notifications that your temperature is going somewhere above 60 to 80. Do you want to turn it on? So let me show you. See, I start receiving an email. I'm receiving a bunch of email. It's go on, go on, go on. Okay, so I'm not going to take you on my email. So let's go back to my subscription topic. Okay, and I will create a subscription topic for the thing and publish it. So going back to my console window, here you will able to see that under the IoT core, we have something as in test. So I will open MQTT test client. That's a browser way of doing so. And within that client window, I will configure the subscription of the topic here. Okay, so here we have a topic. Let me name as in house and select the subscription. Are you able to see? The one which I'm showing in simulator, the same similar kind of a thing I'm able to see over in here. Okay, so this topic house can be changed in the application code as well. The one which I am maintaining within my simulator application, the device.json file. So this subscription will show you that, okay, on your left, and we have this web client and you can see the messaging which is flowing, how this is changing the temperature value and all. Okay, now let me do one thing. Let me change the device state with the device shadow, the one which I was talking about in my architect diagram. So let me go back in here and cancel this simulator which throwing the value, and I will run this command again to restart my simulator program. So I will run the simulator, which will start from very 45-degree or some kind of a temperature in here. And I will go back to my AWS IoT. Inside my thing, I will click on thermostat. Okay. Inside my thermostat, you will see that previously it was just showing the state, but since I have start receiving the sensor value, you will see that there is a shadow, something known as in shadow in here. And the moment you will open, you will see that you have some of the details available like classic shadow, which holding the value which we have passed on when we have created the shadow value in here. So what I will do, since this is the value as in false, which means I'm sending a instruction to my air conditioner, the simulator, to turn it off. Okay, to low down the temperature, which is going more than 60, 80, and now somewhere 110 and 15. Because now I have started receiving the emails the moment it's outreach, the see it's showing me in a red and everything. So I need to take some action. So I will go in here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass on one simple, let me delete this, let me change the state to true. Okay, and I will save this. So the moment I turn this thing on, you will see the message in here that it has turned into true, and slowly it will start getting down. Slowly and gradually it will start getting down. Otherwise the number were increasing. Okay, now you will see the change in here. So what I have done, I was somewhere in my simulator which is outside, not the part of this, but I have passed on the instruction in here to slow it down. Okay, so if your air conditioner is not turning on, your device means this is something which will help you. You have seen the state of the device change from air conditioning is off to air conditioning is on now, and the temperature has getting down. So I'm controlling the temperature of my room with the help of the simulator now. Okay, I hope this demo was make more sense to you now. Now coming back to our presentation slide, which we left with only a couple of slides now. Yes, Guy, I need a very quick confirmation. Hope this demonstration is clear to you. Are you able to follow me? Okay. So coming back to this, I left with only a couple of slides where we are talking about the of benefits of AWS IoT, which you have seen yourself with the help of a small demonstration. So it's provide you the long-term stability. It's provide you the scale and fleet management, help you to the save money and security, and make you the faster innovation, because you can now focus on your team developing and iterating the application and feature that will give more contribution to the business rather than working on the basic functionality, how to take in and take control. Because you have seen with the help of one of the service IoT Core, there are so many things available with the help of the management. Yeah, I have not shown you much on the passing on the command and all those things, but yes, this will surely help you. So a typical IoT migration journey has that if you want to move your business or something like that, then you have a migration assessment which is done by AWS or their partner. They will help you to maintain your readiness and planning, and then they will moderate to you. So when we talk about the migration steps, especially with IoT, how this will work, they will provide you, create a case for the change, which will help you to do the readiness assessment, take up your TCO report, give you a briefing, then will help you to discover everything, and then slowly and gradually taking you to the migration step. So it has they do provide a migration readiness assessment workshop, especially for the people those who are adopting to AWS. And here I'm going to show you, discuss in another 5 minutes about the challenge one of the Wemo cloud was facing when they were holding their own architect design. So the challenges which they were facing were how to scale your infrastructure, or being how to make it uptime and maintenance, deciding on the cost, how the responsiveness was of the app was not apt in place in the very first place. So what they have done, so this was the architecture where they have their own Vimo cloud, which they have hosted within that, and they have some of the management APIs and remote access. So what they have done, they have simply they were have their own application server, they have their own 10 server. But with the help of IoT solution, what they have done, they have maintained that IoT core and used the MQTT, which was connected with their application, which was collecting the sensor data with the help of the application, as well as with the help of the application server, which was in there, and then providing the relevant actions to be taken care of using the Amazon FreeRTOS. So this was like one of the thing which they were translating. So in real time status update, what they have done, they have not, like here they were using some APIs connected in here and then using in here. But with the real time status update, what they have done, they have maintained their old status update within their Tomcat server and move them. Like in previous, you were able to see the application server and some of tons of the servers which they're maintaining. They have immediately changed them into DynamoDB to collect the data and connect your Lambda function to automate everything without using any server. However, they were still using Tomcat server so that they can update some of the previous status update and passing on those information to DynamoDB, which is connected to your Lambda function. And Lambda function was talking to your IoT core, and IoT core was also communicating with the app. So this was the model, this was the architect, a simplified version of a solution to the client, where previously they were maintaining 180 plus of server and a lot of TCP protocol, while in here they have start using the REST, which is way too lighter in use, and MQTT was connecting with their connector. So this was all about the session. I hope you were able to understand and take a grip of what is all about IoT, especially AWS IoT, and how we can start with. I hope I helped you to understand something which will help you to start your journey toward the AWS IoT. So please free to provide your feedback, get in touch with us, get into our website, see what are the services, the courses which we are offering, and you can connect within our LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. This recorded session will be made available to the YouTube channel. Okay.